All right, just taking a quick look at this new Subaru Outback. This is the 2026 next generation. And, you might think it's like, I don't know, you might think it's the new Ascent because it's freaking huge. It's huge. But it's really just this angle. This is kind of a weird photo. If you look at some of these other ones, you can see it's still got the wagon shape to it. Now, there is some design cues here, some kind of design tricks that they've done to, make it look like it sits up higher and that it is just visually a larger vehicle. But yeah, it's still, at the end of the day, it still has the wagon proportions. So don't worry, don't freak out. This is still going to be, if you're an Outback fan, you're still going to love this thing. And in fact, let's talk about those design details that do kind of give you this SUV impression. So let's throw it in the Photoshop. Like, hey, you know what we always do in this channel? Throw it in the Photoshop. All right, we're in Photoshop. So now with the magic of AI, we can just erase the camo. Hey, there it is. We just erased it with AI, like within like 2 seconds. No, no. I actually just spent like a couple hours rendering this. Let's talk about some of the things you might like, some of the things you might not like. A lot of people, they hate this like split headlight design. Yes, so there's going to be, I don't know, probably the primary headlights are going to be down here. And then you got this section above that has the daytime running lights. This is what a lot of car companies are doing. What's interesting, though, is actually if you zoom in there, if we go back to the original photo here, you can actually see that there's 3 little lights in there. So this is interesting. Because typically we only see the daytime running light in the upper part when these manufacturers split it up. So I don't know. Is it going to be like, I rendered it here like, almost like it's an auxiliary light, like just for style. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually going to look like this. It would be really cool if it does. I don't know. It could just be, I don't know. We could get like the low beams down here, and then these could be like the high beams. I don't know. I don't know. That's probably more realistically, that's probably what it would be. But hey, I don't know. Maybe Subaru will do something cool like this. And then as far as the grille, yeah, it's kind of huge. It's kind of huge with this kind of treatment at the top here. This kind of reminds me of those old Acura models that everybody hated. But I do like kind of the overall clean design of this body style. Actually, I like it a lot. So one of the things that you can see here is if you actually follow the door cut lines, it's very clean. There's not a whole lot of, edges and creases like for no reason. Some of these car companies, they love to do that. So it's very clean with the exception of these little concave areas. There's one that kind of runs below the door handles, in fact, and it's kind of the same, it kind of lines up actually with the little section that's kind of scooped out for this headlight design. So very clean body with just these sections that are scooped out. Also, it's the same story kind of around the upper part of the cladding that goes around the wheels. So I do like that stylistically. I do like that. And also having the cladding here and then having this part scooped out above it. This visually is one of the tricks that Subaru is using to make this thing sit up higher or visually look like it's sitting up higher. Another trick they've done is around the C-pillar here, we get this hump. You see that? It kind of rises up there just to make the shoulder of the body look higher. And then something that Subaru's always done with the Outback is we get these huge, beefy, like real chunky roof rails, don't we? That's set up like an extra 3-4 inches from the actual roof height. So when you combine all of these, visual tricks, that's what is kind of making your eye think it's more like an SUV. It's not, it's not really an SUV. It's still got that long wagon. The ratio, the proportions of the length to the height. It's still got the wagon proportions. So don't worry, don't worry. And another thing you might really like about this new Outback is, of course, there's probably going to be a hybrid option, for drastically better fuel economy and a lot more range. In fact, I just did an entire video on that upcoming Subaru hybrid system It's going to be coming out next year, probably in the Forester or Crosstrek first. But yeah, we'll probably see it in the Outback eventually. If you want to know more about that, just, I'll put the link in one of the corners here for that video. But basically, just to sum it up real quick, it is going to have Subaru's Flat 4 Boxer, E-Boxer is what they're going to call it. It's a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter, probably real similar to the one they've been using, but a lot of people think, is it going to be running on the Atkinson cycle for better efficiency? Probably. And then it's going to have a lot of the Toyota hybrid parts, but guess what? They're retaining the symmetrical all-wheel drive, the mechanical all-wheel drive. It's not going to just have a separate electric motor in the back that's not connected to the engine. No, you're still going to have the symmetrical all-wheel drive. So this is great, this is great because that's one of the reasons people love Subarus, right? Because it's such a great system.